Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Dragonheir Silent Gods video. In today's video, we're gonna be going over the event calendar of Season 3 that has just dropped, and we're gonna be doing the usual of checking what events are happening, what you should be focusing on, and at the same time, I'm gonna give you my opinion of what I believe to be the right times to do some summons. I do want to mention that there's something else that you can do if you want to support me as a content creator. That's going to be using code OddOne that you see over there. The way that this one works is you can either go in the events tab, then you're going to see over there at the bottom left bonus event behind me. You're going to click that, and then you should be able to click on this one, link to content creators. You put code OddOne with capital O's, link invitation code. If you haven't done that yet, then you're going to get Warm Arrow, Starlight, and Gold instantly. But not only that, you're also going to be getting, as you level up, you're also going to be getting more Warm Arrow, Healer Light, and some other free stuff in your inbox. So, you know, if you do that, I would really appreciate it. And pretty much the way this works is if you do decide to spend in a game, which I never encourage people to do, but if you do decide to do that, I get like 2% out of what you spent on. So if you do support me, really appreciate it. But let's check out the calendar, because this is kind of like, you know, the most important and the best things. That kind of gives us a sense of direction, or it kind of gives us an idea of what's happening, what we should be focusing on in the season. So this one has from day 21 to from day 1 till day 21. So the first 3 weeks before, I guess, the chief challenges start. If you look at the bottom, the top, we start with the standard things: hard training 1, 2, and 3, and then hard training 4 is going to start on day 20. So, you know, pretty par for the course. Then we're gonna see that we have Cave Rider 1, Cave Rider 2, and Cave Raider 3. So it kind of gives us an idea of what's kind of like the direction that we should be going into, what we should be focusing. Not necessarily, you know, some people might do it different. Some people might just focus blasting gear dungeons and whatnot. The reality is you always want to try and push everything that you can with a max without going to extra stamina. But then at the same time, you 100% want to keep in mind these Cave Raiders. The reason for that is if you go and check in game, these ones are going to give something that's not as easy to obtain in the game, and that's going to be more stamina, right? So 220 gives us stamina, 440, 650, right? So you get 3 stamina refills, which are going to be extremely helpful, right? You 100% want to get those because it allows you to farm more if you do decide to do that. Then starting day 10, we're going to have the Ace Challenger, where we're going to have to do a realm-wide arena. But again, just by doing some arena, we get some free stuff, so totally fun. Then we have the dungeon speedrunning 1, 2, and 3. These are a bit quirky. The way that these ones work is kind of like, I guess, a little bit of RNG. Let me see if this is available over here, or is just in the. It says it starts day 1. So normally these ones appear in the equipment dungeons, right? Or is there one in the growth one? There's usually kind of like a ranking, right? A ranking based on the fights that you do, right? So pretty much the fights, the faster you do them, the better the rewards. You can place in top 5, depends on the elemental pairings used and whatnot. I cannot find it right now. I think that maybe, like I mentioned, I think it's mostly about the equipment dungeons, which only open tomorrow. So, you know, you can check that tomorrow, and that's what you see. Also tomorrow, Fey Meander opens. This is really important to push as far as you can. But yeah, that's the dungeon speedrunning. Honestly, if you're on a server that's with Krakens, like I am, it's gonna be impossible for you to try and do that, maybe, unless you find a quirky team that you have to choose that uses specific elemental synergy or like specific low rarity. You know what, maybe I'm gonna make a dedicated video on that, right? Let me know in the comments down below if that's something you're interested in. I can make that for a video for tomorrow or the next day, because it does have some interesting rewards if you manage to place. The next thing we see is the 7-day login. Well, the 7-day login is pretty standard, right? You get some Starlight, Healer Light, some free stuff, yay bread, I'm gonna love that, and then some more Healer Lights. So we get 10 Healer Lights over 7 days for free, day 2 and day 7. Definitely happy about that, that's really good. Next thing, Season Journey. Okay, so for Season Journey, this is really cool because, you know what, it's 110 Healer Lights that we get in total, as you see over there behind me, for free. Plus we get on chapter 12 a mythic familiar, right? The Starlight Stoneborn. So, you know what they do again? This is really good. 110 Healer Lights plus a ton of Master Scrolls as well. I love it. It's just a nice boost at the beginning of the season, so it doesn't feel like, oh my god, I don't have summons. How am I gonna do this and all that? The next one that we see is going to be Piece of Treasury. Once Piece of Treasury starts, that's the one where you start farming the materials, then you forge it, and then enhance a specific piece of gear. That's something that we're going to be checking, and hopefully we're going to have some info on the next season, on season 4, before that one finishes, so we can forge the best piece that we can use this season and move over to next season. Because, for example, last season, I forged a glove that was, you know, crit damage with a penta crit rate, which I didn't end up using because I went with a different quirky thing for the cross-boundary chest. But that's, you know, that's just me. The Walker Trail, obviously, the kind of like the battle pass. You do quests, you get some free stuff. If you purchase it, you get a ton of free stuff as well. And then it gets to the interesting ones. Limited time event, the Feast card game and the 3 Years Carnival. If you've not done these, definitely look at them, right? I made a video a couple of days ago about it. I think the Feast card is this one, right? You just have specific quests. Every time you do these quests, you get cards, you flip them. If you get 3 of the War Model flip, you can skip to the next round, right? That's it's kind of the way it goes. And then the more people do this, the more you can kind of like confirm giving these whatever they're called, and then you're gonna get some free stuff. And then the 3 year store, this was really interesting. I really made a video on this. Specifically because of this, I made a video. We get hero lights at discounted prices, right? It's not free, but still, it's like 30, 20, 50% off. It was definitely worth it. And if you also care about appearance, you also get the Auric tokens as well at discounted prices. Plus, if you're a spender, I highly recommend you get a featured pack every single day, because you know what? It's the equivalent of 300 War Marrow, right? For getting 6 hero lights, plus you get some of this one, right? Soul Fragments, or master pages, which you can choose. These are really good. And you know what? Alongside those, they also have these cool packs, right? 3 Years Carnival. I mean, look at this. Again, 8 hero lights for the equivalent of 600 War Marrow. It's obviously the purchased one. Or over here, 16 for the equivalent of 1,000. So, you know, depends on if you're a spender or not. But let's move on to the next things. D&D phase, right? We're gonna have Dungeons and Dragons collaboration starting on day 4. We're gonna be getting ourselves Bixby. Now, honestly, I've had Bixby since day 1. I cannot remember where I would actually use it. Honestly, he just is not that impressive. He has a quirky kit, right? He has a quirky passive. He does have his exclusive artifact as well. Let me see, or did he? Did he have an exclusive artifact? I don't remember. I'm not sure, but still, when the Dungeons & Dragons comes, from my point of view, the way that you should always look at this, I'm gonna make a dedicated video looking at this kit again once we get there, but for the first 6 days, this one only includes Season 3 heroes. Definitely worth keeping in mind. However, it doesn't have, it doesn't have some specific stuff, but I'm not gonna look at these ones over here because it's easier to look at them in-game. If you go to the summoning screen, right, you see that you have the Odysseys feature summons. If you look over here, it just tells you what you can get. So pretty much you hit the legendary, you can only get some of these ones. However, the downside and the reason why, as a free-to-play, even though, I get some CC perks, as a free-to-play, I personally don't like to pull on this banner because there's no guarantee the 300. I don't like, right? If you're a spender, obviously you're gonna go crazy, spend, get as many, get as many copies of stuff that you want. Ideally, you would want to go for, Rook, Guinevere, and, so some other ones. I've not tested a lot, but from what I've seen, it kind of seems like Rook and her are kind of like the top 2 choices. So if you're free to play and you can get like 3-4 legendaries a season, I would say Rook and his exclusive, and then try and get Guinevere and her exclusive, right? Gonna try and look at more of these, but that's pretty much it. However, if you look at the summon preview, see what's happening, we're gonna see that on the 1st, so after this one finishes on the 1st, which is gonna be next Monday, we're gonna have the selected summons, this one, which is gonna be Lightning plus Necrosis. I'm personally gonna pull on this one. 100% gonna pull to hit the 300 because I really wanna get a copy of her. If I'm gonna be extremely lucky and hopefully get a copy of Bernade as well, I would love it. But the reality is, the cool thing is that the first one will be a new hero of the season. So if I do pull on the way to 300, it's going to be either Ozul or Guinevere, which I already have Ozul, I already have his exclusive artifact, and I already have him inspired too, I think. But then the one that's going to be everybody's choice, this one's just some supports one from the 4th, not really important. This is the main event, right? From my point of view, there's nothing better than this banner. There's nobody better than him. And it's gonna be the Rook banner. Everybody should try and get at least 1 copy of Rook, and then try to get the 2nd copy of Rook to get his exclusive artifact. That's what I will personally be doing. I'm gonna save my summons, even though it sucks and I really wanna summon. I'm gonna summon on this banner till I hit the 300, and then I'm gonna save, and I'm gonna summon on this one, so I can get another copy of Rook, because I already have him from before, and get his exclusive artifact. However, if it's the first time you're playing, or if you don't have no copies of Rook, what I suggest to do is you get this copy, and then you wait till you can get the banner again, which is gonna be, I think you can possibly go for this one, right? You can go to the selector banner, choose poison, see if Rook is there, and then you get Rook on the 21st, right? Give yourself a nice Christmas present, or wait till this one. That's, from my point of view, the best way to go. Rook still is the king. He's the king of Vortex. He's the king of AoE damage overall, so you 100% want to prioritize him because he's going to be the best, right? And that's, I guess that pretty much covers it. When it comes to these ones, I'm gonna make a different video a little bit later. You will definitely want to keep an eye on the channel because I'm gonna talk about some mistakes. I think it's gonna be like 5 mistakes that I've seen that you might be doing in day 1 that you definitely want to avoid because it can slow down or completely break your progress in the new season. Doesn't matter if you're season 3, season 2, the same mistakes, you know, can be made, but it's not season 1, just season 2 and 3, and you definitely want to avoid them. But we're gonna leave it at this for now. Thank you for watching. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, run. Bye, guys.